Today I want to just mention the new espresso displays. I've just received mine. A little bit of a reminisce and down one of my technology history pathways. I actually met Scott, who's the co-founder and CEO of Espresso Displays, at the Wild Sage restaurant in Sydney in Sussex Street in April 2021. So my journey with espresso has been over 4 years, and if you watch the show regularly, I actually had Scott on the show a few months ago. He was a couple of episodes back talking about the new display. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get one in time to use on the show. But one of my big bugbears with trying to do a podcast and or working remotely, I'm working in the We Love marketing podcast studio today. So I need a second screen. I have to control the show at one. I have to talk to guests on the other. The big problem for me has always had to bring in another screen just to do that. So, it's so good that we fast forward what's more than 4 years now, and not only is Espresso still here and still making screens, but they're winning awards, kicking goals. So it's a really, really good success story. And it's a great product. So yeah, well done Scott and the team, and here's to another 400 years. This configuration for me makes so much more sense, especially in a podcast environment where you're looking all over the place trying to control. But as I said, you've got the limitation of space when you work in coffee shops, or I don't know if I'd try this on an airplane. That could be a bit risky, like trying to stack everything up. But bottom line is small space, still have all the screen realty that we need. Then down to the promotion side of things. We end a financial year. In fact, before we even get to the end of financial year, one thing I want to point out, and I'll actually show you, this is extremely light and extremely portable. It's super thin. It's like 5, I don't even know what inches are, but I don't know. That's just like really, really thin, right? It's super light, really thin. Worrying about damage, I would suggest maybe like a little sleeve. This is 15 inch, so probably a 15 inch laptop sleeve would cover it. I know that Espresso sells like a really cool flap cover that actually acts as a stand as well. So if you don't want to use the big stand, this is not really heavy. It looks heavy and it does hold, but if you don't want to carry that around with you, you can get a cover that flips over, covers the screen, and then when you flip it back, it actually acts as a stand as well. But otherwise, just dump it inside a 15-inch computer case, like a little sleeve case, you'll be fine. It's self-powered. You can actually put a battery pack in and use this as a screen as well, not drawing power off your Mac. There's a second USB-C port for that exact reason, so you can self-power off it. What else can I tell you? This is the non-touch version. One of the things that I initially saw when I first played with the Espresso screens all those years ago was the fact that you could now actually bring touch to a Mac, because you don't have touch on a MacBook. I'm personally not bothered that this is not touch. I don't like fingerprints on my screen. That's one of the things about Mac that's always been cool, is that we don't touch our screens. So I don't need to touch that. I have an iPad if I want to touch it, but for anyone that works on a Windows environment or is used to touch or wants touch for whatever reason, they do make a touch version. There's a 13-inch touch, there's a 15-inch touch. This is the non-touch. So yeah, accessories are there on the side. They are in the financial year offers at the moment. I was about to say that. The boys over at Espresso have made an offer. I've always wanted to have an offer where I can say, hey, if you enter the code BRETT50, that's BRETT50, you can get $50 off the 15-inch touch. I don't make any money from that, so you can do that. I do believe there's an end of financial year special that's aligned with that as well. There are other end of year financial specials as well on the website on the different models. I don't know what they are because I'm reviewing this model. But I really, really loved this brand 4 years ago when I met Scott in the coffee shop, and I still love it. And I can't work on one screen. It's actually not possible. My desk, I've got a massive 39-inch wide. At home, I've got a 42-inch wide. So anywhere that I go, I have to have a second screen. It weighs nothing. It's super bright. It's just plug and play. And now with the invention of this new Stand Plus, this is going to be my new favorite configuration, because this is exactly how I work at home. I've got the big screen along the top and my Mac over here, and everything's just up and down. So 2 thumbs up to Espresso displays. I will put the websites into the links below, and yeah, save money before the tax year runs out. Get a good deal. Brett 50 for $50 off on the 15-inch. One of the other things about the Espresso screen that's really cool, and specifically on the new Smart Stand, is, well, let me show you. That's why we're here. So generally I work like this, and most people work side by side, but you have to have a pretty big real estate to do that. If you're ever working in a small real estate, or more importantly, given that I generally use 2 screens when I film my content, when I'm looking at the cameras, which are normally here when I film, and I look here to control the show, the problem is that that's the angle that's being filmed. I mean, you can actually see like I'm looking sideways. So you lose that personalization with the listeners and the audience. Now with the new screen, first of all, this is magnetic, so it just comes off. It's a really strong magnet. I mean, I'll show you again. Ta-da! But this new Smart Stand, and the name is pretty apt, is if you look underneath, so there was a stand originally that did exactly what this one does, but they've gone and added a very simple modification, which if you do that and you do that, you can see now it's almost like a tent shape. Now you can put the screen behind your Mac. It does work with PCs as well, but we'll talk about Macs for now. And by doing this, I now have a situation where I can control my show looking straight on at the camera. I've got all my content in it that I need here, but more important, so this is great for podcasts. I can't wait. You'll actually start seeing now that I've got this and I'll start using it. But what's really cool about this is if you're ever working in an environment that has a very small space, you can now still have your 2 screens, because you don't need the side by side. It's here. It's just really cool. Like, it's really clever.